Hello and good day to everyone. I am Dr.Srilatha from Odyssey, a journey of life. Thank you for watching this Odyssey show with your enormous encouraging messages and phone calls. We are on the third episode of Odyssey. Today we have a very eminent and special guest, Mr. Arvind Badrinarayanan. Thank you, Mr. Arvind Badrinarayanan, for coming to this show. We are honored to be here. Thank you for a warm welcome to you, Mr. Arvind.
Good afternoon and welcome, everyone. It's indeed an honor to be here, Dr. Srilatha.
Thank you.
It's nice. It's generally nice and sunny weather in Nairobi, but today it's a bit cloudy and very, very unlike Nairobi. But that's the specialty of this place. Thank you.
Oh, that's very good. That's very good. I would like to tell that he's from Nairobi, and I would like to introduce, give a brief description about him. He's an engineer with top-ranking engineer background, with master's degree in the prestigious University of Cranfield, which is in Cranfield School of Management, and he has done a lot of certificate course from prestigious Indian Institute of Science and so many places. And not only that, he has started his career as a assistant manager, and now he's a proud CEO of Kartasi Industries Limited. Yeah, if I want to tell more about him, his profile is too huge. I asked him for a short description, but that itself is a huge one. And I think if I start telling that, it will take 15 to 20 minutes to say. So to shorten it, he's an engineering background, and he is now in Nairobi, and he's a CEO of a very popular industry in Nairobi as well as in Kenya. It's called Kartasi Industries Limited. Thank you to be in this show, Mr. Arvind.
Thank you.
Yeah, and before that, can you tell, before I start with the question of, since we don't know much, the viewers want to know much about you, are there any, what was your journey, or what are you doing today? Can you tell more about it?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, you're really exaggerating my profile. I'm a very simple man.
That's the very humbleness of yours.
Thank you. So my journey started in 2000 as a professional. So
yeah,
I started as a trainee engineer with a company called Technova, and what I try to do is every couple of years I try to make sure I have step change in my profile. So I would take assignments, maybe different product line, different state in India, different countries. So I moved to Kenya the first time in 2004, then I moved to South Africa. So every time what I try to do is try and make sure I learn and do something challenging. So that has really helped me become what I am today. From there, in around 2008, I wanted to take a sabbatical. So I went to the Cranfield School of Management, one of the top MBA schools in the UK.
Yeah.
Thereafter, I came to Bangalore and worked for an Apple partner. So I was heading a retail business. So again, it was a big challenge for me. And over the period of years, I've always held the belief that you have to maintain relationships with whoever comes in your life. And I've had the opportunity to be part of a large community of print and that industry. So I got an opportunity to come back to Kenya, and then today I'm the CEO of Kartasi Industries Limited. It's one of the largest brands in stationery manufacturing in the region.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. Thank you. So Kartasi means paper. So that's how synonymous we are with stationery manufacturing.
Okay.
What I've done over the last
Okay.
4 5 years
Wow.
that I've been here is try and make the business into a more professionally managed one. We put in a lot of structures, processes. We have led and made the team into a more capable one. So those are things that I've tried to do. And to be honest, I mean, it would not have been possible if I had not had the support of a lot of people that come along the way. So I have every step right from my initial days to where I am today. I think I have had mentors and coaches who have helped me become what I am. And in
Very
turn,
good.
I'm trying to do the same. I'm trying to make sure I develop leaders in the process. So that's where the journey has taken to.
Okay, okay.
Thank
Since you
you.
said you have quite a lot of people have helped you, and uh, what type of inspiration or what type of advice did they give you to for your growth in your in your journey of life?
I think it starts from my family. I mean, right from the days of, I mean, when we were kids, I think we come from a typical middle class family with strong emphasis on education and values.
Very
So
good.
that's where really the foundation comes from. And as you grow, you come across opportunities. For example, when I was graduating from my engineering. I had the opportunity of 2 or 3 companies to select from. And the reason why I selected Technova was because you could see the professional attitude, you could see the value system that comes into the business. So
Okay.
what happens is when we joined in, I think you could see that there was someone who was always guiding us that Arvind, do this, take a risk, do this. So there was always someone who was guiding us and saying that this is how you need to do better. And it has helped me to become more probably risk taker.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
yeah, and also you have to keep your, the story of sharpening your axe. So when you
Right.
look at who has
Right.
to sharpen his,
Yeah.
I think this is very, very important. And as you grow in the future, whether it's today at my level or maybe someone who's just entering the work stream, they
Mhm.
have to make sure that they keep sharpening their axe always.
Yes.
Um, and I think that's really helped. Uh, in a lot of places, especially in Kenya, I think the biggest challenge people have is they do not have the mentoring system here.
Oh, really?
Just give you an
Okay.
example.
Yeah.
The population of Kenya is about 52 million or so, and
Okay.
almost 60% of the population is between 0 to 24 years. So very very young, dynamic population.
Yeah.
So what the country really needs is
You
people
mean to
who are
say there
able.
are quite a lot of, you mean to, sorry to interrupt you.
No
You mean to
problem.
say that there are quite a lot of youngsters, young blood people,
Absolutely.
youngster? Yeah.
Absolutely.
We need youngster. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you compare a developed economy like Japan and you compare someone like Kenya, its profile is totally different. So here there's a huge growth potential. What people need here, what the youngsters need here is a direction, and they need someone or a system where they are able to develop their own skills and abilities. I think that's very very important in this kind of environment. So I was fortunate that I was guided very well. I took risks. Some have paid off. Some have not paid off, of course. But I think that's the thing of risk, right? I mean, even in business, I have made decisions where it's backfired, and I've,
Okay.
I've and I have had a very strong board who is supportive of those kind of stuff. So I think it really helps. So it
That's
is
good.
always important that we take risks, we learn from it, and move on.
Wow.
We cannot fall back and say no, I'm not going to take any more risk. I think it's a very important thing.
That's nice of you to say that you have taken the risk. There are so many who persuade and they want to do something. They do hard work, and once they fail, they take risks. They fail, they just drop off. But in that way, I should appreciate you that You have continued your journey, and that's why you are here.
Thank you.
Yeah. And, you have learned, you have a multi-language. I think you know English, Hindi. I just want to tell our your viewers that he is from Bombay, and of course, if he knows in Bombay, he should know Hindi and Marathi. Apart from that, he knows Tamil, Kannada, Gujarati, Swahili. Swahili is a local Swahili, isn't it? It's a
That's right.
local language of
I'm still
Kenya.
learning though. Still learning.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he knows quite a lot of languages, and apart from that, apart from his graduation and things, he has done a lot of other courses, like from Indian Institute of Business. He has done advanced sales and training program, and Indian Institute of E-commerce. He has done a PG diploma also. And can you tell us something about what is this SME Lean Silver certification?
Yeah. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to create a picture of myself on
Yeah.
what would I be, say, 5 years down the line. So
Right.
one thing that is, for example, changing very rapidly with the COVID thing is the advent of e-commerce, right?
Hmm.
So I realized that I have a huge learning curve in that direction. So I signed up for e-commerce course.
Wow. Very good.
Similarly, what we also realized, I have a penchant, for operations. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to learn on lean. So basically, SME is a Society of Mechanical Manufacturing Engineers based in the US, and I'm doing a lean certification program. I
Okay.
should do my exams in March, April. It's tough to manage home, work, and this, but I think it has to be done. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but since you are a CEO of, you are in a high post, and you have a beautiful wife and children, how do you manage? How do you balance both family as well as this company? And I just want to ask you, since you were telling about this COVID. You have mentioned that you have done some strategic, or even your company started it from 1972.
That's right.
What are your this accomplishment and towards your company, and how the profit, especially in the COVID period,
Yeah.
how did you coped up with this period, and even in future we may face something like this. If not COVID,
True.
some other hurdles will be there.
Very true.
Uh, what are your plans about that? What you have done during these few months? Can you tell us about that?
Thank you. So there are basically two questions. One is, maybe you asked me how do you manage everything, and then second part is the
Yeah.
COVID. So maybe I'll answer the first one. So
Right.
typically I get up at what, 4:45, so 4:45 I'm awake, and then I made a kind of schedule, spend so much for some kind of physical workout so that you're fresh. I'm
Okay.
also getting old, so I need to take care of myself. Then I spend some time reading and then organizing my day. So that's how I spend my day, my morning. Um, so we hit the office, and we are supposed to be there in office before 7. So we start very early. So we try to avoid the Nairobi traffic, which gets crazy during the day. So we try
Okay.
and be there earlier than the traffic hits us. So that's the way of doing it. I think the COVID was a real litmus test for us, acid test for us. What happened was, I mean, we are in the education industry. Mainly, our business is education, students, and the likes. So the moment the first case was announced, I think the government decided to stop schools and everything. So
Okay.
we were hit quite badly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think almost 60% of our revenues come from education industry. So we were hit quite badly, and I think one of the first things to do was to really make sure we float, we keep our heads over the water. That was
Okay.
really the emphasis for us. And I must say that in this scenario, I think my board and the directors really helped us, give us the guidance. And then again, The biggest help and in a very positive way was from the staff.
Right.
So what we used to do is we used to actually reach out to them and tell them this is what is happening, this is how we are planning to make sure we survive. So we've had to take things like salary cuts. We have had to send people on unpaid leaves, and I think people were very cooperative.
Good.
Not everyone was happy, but I think it was the question of survival. So over the last 6 7 months, I think we have really transformed our business. We become more lean, more cash efficient. We become more customer oriented. So we have changed the whole map of the company and the culture of the organization. So what we have right now done is made sure we are able to survive any other eventuality and the gains that we have had from COVID, for example, becoming lean. It's like we've had to cut off a portion of a business because it's not working. So we've had to take a lot of hard decisions, and we have to make sure we have survived. So we have really tried to make sure we are lean, we are efficient, and we are very involved. So typically, you have to wait. At this stage, I think the CEOs or the top management team has to be involved in every small nitty gritty. Even a $1 purchase or $2 purchase has to go through a CEO. So that's the kind of system we have had to put in, and has really helped. It has opened our eyes, and I think fortunately we will sail through this COVID. We're not totally out of it, but yes, I think we
Sure.
will survive and we will come out of it.
Yes. Yes. You have rightly said that everywhere it is, I think all over the world it is like that. The salary
True.
card and how they managed with the lenient staff, and
Yeah.
I think now it will. I've been in a few weeks or few months. We'll come back to our original what we were yesterday.
True.
Yeah, and what are your since you're because of your leadership, you have achieved this much, and you said you have aged, but I think you're the youngest CEO you're one of the few CEOs in the world, because at this age nobody becomes a CEO until it's a family owned business. So in that way, I won't say you're aging. You're the youngest, one of the youngest, I should say.
Thank you. I mean, you have to be young at heart. No matter if you're 60, you have to be
Very,
young at heart. Yeah.
yes. See, age is just a matter of, it's a number. It's just a
Number.
matter of, yeah, that's all. You can do anything, anytime, at any age. You can achieve anything.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, what are your future plans? Maybe uh, just just a few glance
Yeah.
about it.
It's a good question. I think what COVID has really taught us is the future is very short. You really don't know what is going to hit you again. So the way I look at the future is look at what you have with you at the moment, and from
Mhm.
there, what kind of um let's say what kind of picture do you want to create, what kind of skills do you want to upgrade, and what opportunities come in. I think Steve Jobs once mentioned in a graduation speech at Stanford that you can look at life only after a few years, and then you can connect the dots. So I think
Yes.
it's very applicable in this kind of time, that while you can lay down your plans, but it's very difficult to say how you're going to be. I think you have to keep an eye out for opportunities, and make sure you are skilled enough to capture the opportunity at the right time. That's how the future should be. For me, I think I'm committed to this organization, and I believe the potential in this company is massive.
Okay.
Uh, so yes, I'm foreseeing myself in this organization for the next few years. We'll see how it goes. But as I look at it, I think the way I look at myself maybe in this industry is probably to develop. I mean, like I said in the beginning, develop leaders. So what I would
Yeah.
like to do is within within Kartasi, and maybe I'm also working with something called the Mukuru Promotion Council. It's a very nice NGO which looks at children in the slum who don't have opportunities for education. So maybe I'll try and contribute there. So the idea is to maybe give guidance and make leaders out of people more. So in terms of career, I think I'm very clear that there are a lot of gaps in terms of skills that I need to have.
Yeah.
I generally keep a kind of a 5-year plan or 10-year plan.
Good.
So with that in mind, I'm trying to see where it fits in and then what needs to be done. So there are a lot of other courses that I'm doing. So I try and keep myself abreast. So be ready. It's like you are going to a war, but when you go to a war, you can't decide what weapons to take beforehand.
Yeah, you should.
You can't decide to take weapons at that time. You need to be prepared with it and then go after it. So I think just make sure your arsenal has the right skills in it, and then you go after it.
That's a nice answer, Mr. Arvind. You have an open mind. At the same time, you have some plans. You won't
Definitely.
sit idle. Yeah, and since now, as you said, the COVID has taught us where we are and what we should do, how we should save, and how we should look at the future. Yeah, that's really nice of you to plan. At the same time, you are open to everything. You have not
Absolutely.
strictly. Yes, that's.
I think it's very important. I think this is an eye opener that
Yes, very
this situation
to
has really
everyone,
hit
I should
people.
say.
Absolutely, yeah. So I think you picked a point on savings. It's very important that you save for a rainy day. But generally we say you save for retirement, but you don't know when there is retirement.
Oh,
I mean, with this thing, you could have retirement the next day. So
right.
you
Nowadays,
just
it is
have to make sure you have enough.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it is not like olden the 10 years back. Okay, after retirement, we can keep all this money for after retirement. Now it is not like that.
Absolutely.
Very true.
Absolutely.
Very true. That's okay. Okay, and you have yes, you have got. Yeah. One more question I want to ask you.
Yes.
In your company, you said you have there is a 115% of profit you have done. That's a marvelous, awesome uh, news for all of us, all the viewers. In fact, how did you do it? What is the secret
So,
behind? What secret behind
uh,
it? What is
I think, see, profit is a function of what kind of product portfolio and what kind of sales. I think it's profit is ultimately a number. Okay, you could have. I mean, in an accounting equation, it's revenue minus cost is profit. Simple. So if you are able
yes?
to handle both these cases profit in the right way, you have a higher profit. So
But sorry to interrupt, but the company or the business runs on profit.
absolutely. So that's what I'm saying. So you have to look at both the top line and the cost structure. So what we have tried to do is we've tried to with this COVID thing we've tried to make sure our cost structure remains very sane. Yeah, it has to be in the right what do you call it fraction of the top line. Our top line has really been affected because of COVID. So what we are trying to do is make sure the company remains profitable, and the way to do it is to innovate. Yeah, so I think you need to have a focused strategy on trying and getting innovation. Innovation is not just about products. You could look at processes. You could look at markets. You could look at the same products being innovated. So those are various things. So there's a whole, I think you might have to do a full another lecture for that, but I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert. But what we have tried to do is we're trying to make sure the different components of business fit in nicely. And yes, I think we've done mistakes when we have gone on the way, but yes, we're on the right track, and the business is very profitable, and it is a very strong there's a very strong foundation as well.
Okay, yeah. What according to you is a success? It's a simple question, but a difficult answer.
Yeah, I think no. What is the difference between a good question and a great question? A,
Yeah.
a great question is something where you have to sit back and think and what it means. So
No,
so I think
from your personal point of view, because it is a success. We in our program we talk to the people about the success of their in their career, in their growth, in their life.
true,
So
true.
it's not only it's talking between us; it's an inspiration or motivation to others. Yeah, if you
True.
can do it, why can't we? Why can't I? That's what I want the viewers to think.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's a very important question, and I think it's really touches the whole idea of this talk show. So the success is basically for me. I think it's um, looking at how you do things in the right way. It's not the dream that I want to be a CEO, I want to start my own business, I want to be a billionaire or millionaire. I think it's the process, it's the route, it's the journey which really matters. So in the journey, during the journey, you will come across obstacles, you'll come across people, you'll come across relationships, you will come across positive, negative, you will come across uh, surprises or shocks. You can have all the things. I think it's how you handle those situations. It's how you learn from them. And
Yeah.
and not everyone can go to an IIT. Not everyone can become a doctor. Not everyone can become uh, Steve Jobs. But it's from where you start and making sure you have a goal and then you go towards it step by step. So it's the whole journey which really matters. And in my case, I think uh, I'm not a very I'm a good student. I was a bright student. I'm still a good student. I was not, and I think the key is how do you take your values, how do you take your foundations that you learn as a student, how you apply it. See, one thing we might go to college, we might go for an MBA, whatever. Uh, you don't use those jargons every day. It's what knowledge you use it and then apply it in your day-to-day life. So similarly, it's the during this journey of your life or your career, you pick up a lot of things. You pick up a lot of positive things, you pick up a lot of learnings, negatives, you fall, you wake up, you get up and start running again. So I think that's what really matters. And every time you come across a situation, a challenge, a success, what do you learn from it? I think that is really what success means to me.
Yes, very true, very true, very true. Very, very, very well said and very nice answer. Okay, I just since we have people since you are in Africa. Earlier, Africa was considered as a hidden continent. Can you tell something about this? How is about your country, about your continent, about your country?
I think Africa is still hidden.
Yeah.
If you look at economists, they will always say that somewhere growth has missed Africa. And while the whole population of Africa is about a billion plus, similar to what Kenya is, I think the average age of the population is between 0 to 30, 35. I think majority of the population. So it's a very, very young, fast
Okay.
growing, and a place with immense potential. So most people would want to go for their assignments to US or Europe or UK, but I think that
Right,
is
that's
where,
right. That's why I asked this question. It's not that UK or US or some other general place or even
yeah,
Singapore, but
yeah,
maybe you are adventurous or it's really
yeah.
and
So I think here's where the opportunity really lies. I think when you are in a place like this, you see a potential for growth in both the economy, growth in the people, because you have an opportunity for example, for someone like me. I think my biggest opportunity is try and help people grow better. So that's what I try and do. In terms of opportunities for business, I think it's a very, very, mobile business. So if you have the first mobile money platform was in Kenya. So there's a lot
Okay.
of innovation happening here.
Wow.
At the same time, there are a lot of challenges here. And if you're able to sort or meet or solve these challenges, I think you have a market of 1 billion people. But we also need to understand that the 56 odd countries that Africa is, each country is probably unique. So while we might put and cluster everything together as Africa, but I think every country or every region has its own nuances and way of doing stuff and way of doing business. So I positively believe that I don't know how life goes for me, but I don't know, but I would definitely want to live here for the next few years, a few generations maybe.
Good wishes to you. Good wishes to you. Okay. Uh, I want to ask you quite a lot of things, quite a lot of questions, and I want to know quite a lot of things. But since the time is up, I just want to ask you, what do you want to say our viewers? What is your special views about your view? Want to say to our viewers?
Right. Thank you. So I think what I want to say is it's always good to have a profile. If you want to if you want to follow a career, it's always good to have a profile which is holistic. What I mean by that is, in India, the main priority for people is education, studies, grades. So all we are doing is trying and making sure our kids or kids cram as much as possible, try to get the best grades in class, and maybe get into a good institute, and then maybe get a good job. And I think what we miss and what we are myopic in our vision is what are we giving our opportunities? What are the kids getting opportunities for? I think it's when we look for people, what we look for is one is definitely education, so basically, skills. Skills come from a solid background in education, which is very important, right? Knowledge is you gain from education and also in the journey. And number three, and most important, I think we say is attitude. And when to develop an attitude, I think it doesn't come only from studies. It comes from doing the various other things. So we look at things like what sports do they play, what extracurricular do they do, what leadership positions have they taken,
Yes, not only
what languages do they know.
yes, not only the education is for which field you are good at. Yes,
Yeah, so you're specializing in one thing, but what we always miss is we are still not in a robotic world. We have to interact with people. So what we try and do is we look at people who have an experience, who have a background of working with people in a very efficient way, in a respectful way, and being culturally aware. So I think that's what we really. So when we are looking at that, have that a direction or a vision that this is what how I need to make my CV look like, or this is how I want to take my career. It's very important that you have a holistic thing, because when we are young, we often miss that. We always are looking at study, 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 but there's life beyond it, and it is very important that you have a profile that people should love to talk to you, they should love to interact with you, and they should be comfortable talking to you. At the same time, you should be comfortable talking to people about various things. I think it's very important to have interpersonal skills, knowledge, and a very, very solid attitude. So if you're a youngster, if you're just getting into college, or maybe in the teens or whatever, make sure you build a profile like that. If you're just started your career, make sure you keep upgrading your skills and learn to interact with people more. And if you're someone at my age, I think it's all about respecting people and helping someone else do better.
good. Very nice.
Thank
Very
you.
nice. Yeah, very nice. Mr. Arvind, you are a very nice person to talk with,
Thank
and
you.
really you are very, and at the same time you are very humble. You are so learned. You have quite a lot of skill. Like you said, you keep sharpening your axe. Yeah, yeah. In our life, we have to keep learning something, keep learning and updating ourselves.
Sure.
And you are very humble, and you have got quite a lot of knowledge about everything. And yes, and yeah, you don't mind taking risk in to achieve something, whatever your goal is. You don't mind taking risk, and you're so determined to do it that you won't leave until you achieve it. That's
Thank you.
that's a really positive and good way of looking at it.
Thank you.
And it's nice talking with you. And in our Odyssey platform, we generally welcome the successful people who have succeeded and who want to tell how they succeed, and so that it will be a example for others. That's why this platform is formed, and it's a really nice, and we are honored to we are. It's a privilege for us to be that you are in our platform. Thank you, Mr. Arvind
Thank you.
Badrinarayanan. Thank you a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Thank you, and all the best to everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.